Hello everyone, and welcome to my stamping studio. I'm Tina Rappy, and I'm looking behind me because you wouldn't believe what the rest of my stamp room looks like right now. I'm going to share a card with you tonight, the awesome Otters stamp set from Celebration. But this last few days I've been working on designing cards for a demonstrator event that my sister Peggy and I have going on this Saturday. So 20 cards, 39 people at the event. That's a lot of cardstock to cut. So I have piles of that all set and ready to go. In, what is it, 5 weeks? 5 weeks is my Stamp Crop and Cruise retreat on Royal Caribbean's Oasis of the Sea. And so I have created 8 amazing projects for that, which includes a 24-page scrapbook. So I've been working on getting those things sorted out and cut and everything else. So that's been crazy. And then to add, just add to the chaos of it all, 1 week after I get back from the cruise is our Stampin' Sisters retreat. And that is a retreat at a hotel in Rockford, Illinois that I do with my sister, and we have 92 people coming to that. So prepping for all the projects for a weekend of fun then. So right behind me, things look relatively organized. Right here in front of me, and not too bad, but if you look over there and into the room beyond, pretty chaotic. Hi, Sheila. All right, so I am going to, let me just update this over here. And, okay, that way then. Hi, Glenda. Yes, the winter warm up today, no kidding. Yesterday when I got out of my car to walk into work, it about took my breath away. It was so unbelievably cold. And today it felt like spring out there, so it was great. Okay, let me grab the Celebration catalog here. Okay, Celebration. It is on, and we are going to be using this, which is the awesome Otter stamp set, okay? And I shared this on my blog, just a picture so you knew what we were going to be making tonight, but I want to show you how I went about doing it. So if you're on here, send me some thumbs up, some hearts, say hi, let me know where you're from so I know. And I have something to share. I'm going to ask you guys if you would share this video with your friends on Facebook and that, and I will be picking out a name from those of you who do share, and someone will win a package of embellishments from me. So I'll post the winner next week, so be sure to share. Okay, I am going to flip the camera down so you guys can see what I'm doing. So let me just grab, I like to stick a sticky note over the camera like that, using that pretty pink, and I'm going to flip everything down. Hey, and I apologize to you guys for last week. Those of you that were watching, you saw that partway through the video just stopped, which is crazy, and I got it popped up on the screen saying something about the temporarily lost the signal, blah blah blah. So okay, then I restarted things again, and I'm partway through again, and it does the same thing. Well, then when I took my phone out of the holder that it's in, it said it was too hot. Well, up on the ceiling and directly to my left, there is a heat vent that I could not get the thing closed, and I think it was just going nuts is what was happening. It was heating things up too much, and not much I could do. So I apologize for that. I mentioned to my husband that we need to figure out how to close that vent, so he took it off and sprayed WD-40 all over it, and I think we're good to go. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So obviously I'm going to be using this image, and you are utterly awesome. And then on the inside, we're using this one. So this is a celebration stamp set, one that can be earned for free when you place a $50 order during celebration. Okay, so what I have for the pieces, I have a piece of Bermuda Bay. This is 4 1/4 inches by 5 1/2, and I scored it right in half. So let me grab my bone folder here. You know, I always think I have everything right in front of me that I need, but inevitably, I don't have something. All right, so let's line that up, fold this nice and crisply. Okay, that's the card base. Then I have a piece of Whisper White that is 4 inches by 5 1/4. I have another piece of Whisper White, so this one is going to go on the inside of the card, the bigger one. I have another one that is 3 3/4 by 5. That's going to be this piece here. And then I have a piece of Coastal Cabana that measures the 3 3/4 by 5. And then lastly, I have a piece of Basic White, and this is like 2 inches by 3 inches or so. It is for the little otter. All right, so let's move things aside. I'm going to get my mat in here. I've got to put that over there. Okie doke. All right, so I am taking not the largest Basic White, but the one that's a little bit smaller. So we're going to work on the front of the card right now. And what I want to do is use one of the blending brushes. If you do not have these, oh my gosh, you guys, you need to get these. These are the best things. And before you get ink on them, take and rub it across your face, across your cheek. It is the softest, softest thing. It feels wonderful. Okay, so it looks like there's ink on here. There is not, okay? You can rinse these out, and in some of them, the color comes out completely. Other ones, it kind of stains it a little bit, but it still works perfectly fine, okay? So, I'm gonna set this down here, and then, let's see, let's scoot this over a little bit so you can see better. Okay, so I'm gonna tap this on here, and then when you're using the blending brush, you never wanna go directly on the paper. You wanna start off, because you're always gonna get like a blob at first. So start off and then just start rubbing. Pick up some more and start rubbing. So we are doing this background piece here. So with it being just after the first of the year, I know a lot of times this time of year I have people saying that they're working on getting their craft area organized in that. So question for you guys, how do you store your cardstock? I know some people keep them in the original packages and just pull out the sheets as they need them. Other people have fancy holders for them. I personally keep mine in file folders and in a file cabinet, and that works out great for me. So share with me how you guys store your cardstock. Okay, so you can see here how I'm doing darker around the edges, and I'm going to get some up here on the top. And let's get a little more right in here. Okay, so I'm happy with how that looks. All right, let me move this aside, and then we're going to use the Memento ink, and I'm going to stamp "You Are Utterly Awesome." And I'm going to stamp that up near the top. Like All right. Next, I'm going to close this up before I stick my hand in it. All right, so next, I'm going to take the Coastal Cabana. Well, actually, before we do that, let's go ahead and just adhere this right to the card front. So I'll get my Stamp and Seal. Actually, this is Stamp and Seal Plus. And this is going to go right down on there. I notice I got a little tiny boo-boo right there. So I'm going to get my sand eraser. This is not a Stampin' Up! Product. This is a item that was ordered from off Amazon, and it is Mono Sand Eraser, Tombow Mono Sand Eraser. And it works quite well at lifting ink if you've got a little blob where you don't need it. Okay. Now, what it also did, if you look real close, it took off what I had brushed on there. So I'm just going to brush over that again to get it to blend. There we go. All right. So then next, I'll set that aside. On the Coastal Cabana piece, I'm going to use the C dies, and I'm going to use this one. Okay. This is going to go directly on here, and then I'll run it through the Stamp Cut and Emboss machine. And ta-da, look how fast I did that. Isn't that great? I figure you guys don't need to hear or see me cranking this through. Okay, so we have this. Now what I want to do is I want to add color to these things because I don't want everything to be the same color of blue. All right, so I'm going to use Old Olive. And again, yeah, nothing in there. Okay, so we're going to pick this up. And now what I'm doing, I'm not doing the shading like I had done before. I simply want to get color on this greenery. So with this, I am just applying color. And then down here, I'm being careful not to get it on top of everything else. So in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover up where I don't want it to go. And let's get just a little bit more right here. Okay, so you see how that's green? And we need to do the ones over here, but not this. This is the coral. So let me cover up what we don't want to get colored. So right there. I tried doing this with sponge daubers, and it just didn't give me the look that I was looking for. So doing it with the blending brushes seemed to work best for me. Okay, a little bit more there. And right here. Okay, so now I have the seaweed is green, and now we want to do the coral. And for that, I'm going to use Flirty Flamingo. Now, you know what's going to happen here. I have blue cardstock, and I'm putting a pink on top of it, and so it's going to turn kind of purpley. Okay, so can you see how that's a little bit purple looking? Then we're going to take some Wink of Stella and paint over the coral, just so that it shimmers and shines. Okay, I'm going to set that aside then for it to dry. And while that's happening, Let me close this. Okay, what are you saying, Glenda? Oh, goodness. You definitely have a what the heck laugh if you saw how I store my cardstock. Each pack, just as it comes from Stampin' Up, laying on its side on the bed that is in my way in the craft room. Yeah, I think a lot of people have done that. My first stamping area was our bathroom / laundry room. Yeah. Yep. Okay, so while that's drying, I'm going to use this smaller piece, and we are going to do the otter. So we're going to get this. Oh, I love this set too, Helen. It is the most adorable. Okay, so we're going to stamp him on here. Okay, and then we're going to color. So I'm going to get out my blends. And what I used for the otter is the ivory and the bronze. Okay, now I don't know if you guys have paid attention or not, but there's one end that's a wide mark on here and one end that's a fine end. So the fine end has a fine tip point and the wide end has a brush tip point. When you're using it, each pen, the brush tip point is a lighter shade of the color than the pointed tip. All right, so what I'm going to do to start out with is I am going to use the pointed tip of the bronze, and I am going to walk it around. Wait, did I just say it backwards? Is it the other way? Hang on. Oh, I have two bronze markers. One of them is about kaput. And in fact, this one is the color lifter. Now I have the right ones. All right, so let me show you. Fine tip point of the bronze and brush tip. So can you see the difference? The brush tip is a lighter shade. Okay, so I'm going to use the pointed tip and walk it around where I want the dark areas. So kind of around the edge of his belly, all the way around. And this certainly does not need to be exact. Okay, on any of the little fur lines that are in there. Right along the edges of his little hands, his ears, and then all the way around the outside of him. Wouldn't it be amazing if there was a die for this? There's not, but we can fussy cut when it's something good like this and worthwhile. Okay, we're gonna give a little dark right up there. Okay, so that's what we're doing with the dark color. Now, the brush tip end, we're gonna take and kind of blend this in. Okay, so I'm going from where I've already colored with the other one and sort of dragging that color, the dark, into this new part where I'm coloring now. And that way you get a blended look instead of, oh, here's an outline and then here's the other color. All right, and let's get his little paws. All right, and then we'll get this up here. Okay, so we're gonna color him like that. Next, on the bronze, I'm going to go with the darker one, so that's the little pointed end. And we're going to go around the inside of his belly. Or her. I don't know if this is a girl otter or a boy otter. Okay. Like that. And then we're going to go to the brush tip end. And drag that color through. Being careful not to color that fish. We don't want that colored yet. Now you could also use the regular Stampin' Write markers or colored pencils or whatever else, but I just so love how this blends so well with the Stampin' Blends. Okay, and then we're coloring his face. Now, you can see right now, and this looks kind of silly if I bring it up here, how the face just kind of stops. It's the ivory color, and then we have the bronze here, and that doesn't look good. We want to blend things in, so I'm taking it from the bronze area and bringing it up in and kind of just blending those colors together so that it's sort of seamless where the change in color is. It's gonna be just a gradual, and then his little, I call it hair, I don't know, he's got hair all over him, so I don't know if that makes sense to call it that, but okay, and then I'm also going to bring the ivory through the rest of his body. And then if I want a little highlight in it, then I would get out the color lifter and just blend a little of this color, and it's going to lift some of that. Okay? Now, for the fish, I have the light pool party. Oops, and I'm going to use the pointed end because I want it a little bit darker. And that way it kind of looks like Coastal Cabana. Did you notice that we don't have a Stampin' Blend marker for every single one of our colors? But if you swap from the brush tip end to the pointed end, you will come up with pretty much every color. Okay, and then I have the dark basic black. What I want to do here for the nose, so take a look at how the nose is, and you see like those little hash marks on it and everything. And then here's mine. I colored in part of the nose and left a little white spot, so that is like a reflection there. So that's the reason for coloring this in, so that we can have just a little touch of white there. All right, so I'm happy with the way that looks. So let me move this stuff aside, and I'm going to grab my paper snips and cut this out. And with this, a lot of times with cutting, you know, I'll cut a border around, but with this, because it's going to sit on here, I don't want a white border. So we're going to cut right up on that black line. And where the fur here is kind of jaggedy, I'm just going to kind of wiggle my scissors a little bit to kind of get a jaggedy look. Okay. A lot of you don't enjoy fussy cutting, but I think the reason for that for most people is you don't know the easiest way to cut. All right, so let me get around his little ear and I'll explain what I'm talking about. So let's get this, little jaggedy hairs. And we'll get around this ear and then I'll show you. Okay, when we learned how to cut in kindergarten or whenever it was, we learned that you cut up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. You know, what you want to do when you're cutting around something like this is keep the scissors where they're at. You're not going up and down, and I want to go around. So I'm moving the paper, but I'm keeping the scissors right where they're at. Now I've gotten to the end of the tip of the scissors. I'm going to back it up, start clear back here, and do the same thing again. Okay, so let's see how that works when you're actually cutting something. So here I am coming towards the end of the tip, so I'm going to bring it back here, and now I'm going to move my paper, keeping my scissors where they're at. Cut that part off. Okay, and we just have the tail. Then I'm going to show you one other little trick here. Okay, now let's do this. Can you see how there are little tidbits of white here? because I didn't cut exactly right on it, or here where his hair is, you know what you can do? Grab that black Stampin' Write marker and right along the edges, draw it back in. So you don't have to go back and keep recutting it. Oh, I'm too far, I'm not far enough, all of that. And so we're eliminating that little bit of white. Okay, here's another little bit. All right, and then right around his ear. Okay, so what I want to do there for his hair is I want to take the bronze marker and just kind of color that in. All right, there's our adorable little otter. Okay, we are ready to assemble. So we've got the otter, we have the front of the card, we have this with the wink of Stella, and we're going to go ahead and put dimensionals on this. And so you want to use quite a few here because you don't want this to kind of smush down. This is our frame for things. And don't have any of the mini dimensionals here, but that would come in handy as well. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to trim these little pieces. And you guys, I know people that will not use those outside edges. Oh my gosh. Those are dimensionals too. They're just a different shape, and use it all up. That helps save money so you can buy other Stampin' stuff. Okay, so that is good there. I'm going to peel all of these off. So each month with my team, those of us that are in at the level of Silver Elite or higher, we are the creative crew is what we call ourselves. Not that we are the only ones that are creative by any stretch of the imagination, but each month we pick a stamp set to feature, and we each design a card using that stamp set. And this month it was the Awesome Otter stamp set. So this is the tutorial that I did for our whole team. So, all right, so we have that on there with the dimensionals. Then with the otter, let's put some on him. And I do not feel a need to have to secure the tail down or these seaweed, because think about it, they're in the water and they would be moving around. So I think the fact that they may appear to be at a different depth is perfectly fine. I'm going to tuck him under the seaweed and the coral just a little bit. So in the die, you can see that we've got all these bubbles. Well, I want to add bubbles. He's under the water. And so, where did I put him? Right here. We have the polished dots, and they come this really faint pink color or the clear. And I'm going to grab one big one. Bloop. And a couple of the little ones. Oops, flipped it over. And one more. Which is stuck on my finger. Do you guys do that? And then all of a sudden it's like, where did it go? And then you find it later. Dimensional backings, oh my gosh, that happens all the time. Okay, so there is the front of our card. Now let's work on the inside. So we have that smaller piece, or that larger piece of basic white. And we are going to use this little otter image. And I'm going to show you a little trick here too. So let me get this all inked up. Okay, I'm going to stamp him down in the corner. Okay, now it doesn't make sense to me that the water would just be right there and it would stop. I want water over here too, but we don't have an image that is just water. So I'm going to take this and turn it upside down, and I am going to stamp it See? And it works just perfectly there. All right, then we're going to color him the same way we colored the other one. So dark tip all the way around here. Careful for the eyes that you don't color those in, because you want those white flecks there too. Okay. And the brush end. Okay, then we'll get our ivory. There are new Stamp and Blend colors that are going to be coming out. Demonstrators can get them right now, and customers can order them next month. It's all skin tones, and so that will make for really cool, not just people skin tones in that, but animals and the fur and that kind of thing. There's a really cool stamp set that is hands together, so it's to be an inclusive stamp set, with the idea being uniting people, you know, that we're all different and unique, yet we all have similarities. All right, let me drag this color in here. Okay, I like the way he looks. We'll do his nose and leave a little highlighted spot. Okay, ooh, I forgot his ear. Let's get that. Okay. All right, then what I want to do here is I'm going to use that light Pool Party, and just the water splashes, I'm going to hit those. Okay, and then I'm going to go back to my blending brush, make sure I've got the right one. I think that one was the pink. Let's see what this one. Nope, that's the green. There's the pink. Okay, here's the blue. So just like we did on the front of it, tap it off. I'm going to get the water here first, and I'm just being careful around the otter that I'm not coloring or blending all the way across him. I don't want him to have a blue tint to him. All right. And by doing that, oh, see what I did? I didn't do it off on the paper so you get the little blotch. So that's what I'm talking about. You want to always get off the paper to start. So here I'm just going to blend that in a little bit more and try to cover up that little boo-boo. I'll just get it around the edges, but leaving everything else blank so that there's good space for writing whatever it is that you want to write on the inside. All right, let's get this out of here. And we're going to put this on the inside of the card. So I am going to be changing things up starting next week on Wednesday for my Facebook Live. Instead of starting at 7 o'clock, I'm going to be starting at 6 o'clock. I have found that 7 o'clock is just kind of difficult for me. And 6 o'clock is going to work better. I hope you can still join us then, and if not, you can catch on replay. But there is the awesome Otters stamp set. See, we've got the shimmer here, we've got the little bubbles, we've got the depth to it. So, yeah, love this. All right, so be sure to share the video. All of those that do share are going to get their name in a drawing for some new embellishments. Okay, so why don't you pop in also and let me know what your favorite celebration item is. And I will just do a really brief run through so you don't have to dig out your celebration catalog. But we have the Island Vibes stamp set. I have to be honest, this is my least favorite. In fact, I didn't even get this one. So if you guys got this and you love it and you use it, I would love to see samples with it. It just didn't speak to me yet. Okay, and then there is the Daffodil Afternoon Designer Series paper. That's 12 by 12 paper. And then there is the Catching Butterflies stamp set. There is the Driving By stamp set. The Sunshine and Rainbows Designer Series paper, and that's a 6 by 6 pack. The Simply Marvelous 6 by 6 paper, right there. The Awesome Otters. All of those are free with a $50 purchase. And then at the $100 level, with an order of $100 or more, there is the Friendly Hello bundle, which is the Friendly Hello stamp set and the Friendly Hello 12 by 12 Designer Series paper. And last but certainly not least is the Special Moment stamp set. So this is 21 different sentiments. That's great. This is also for a $100 purchase. So pop in and let me know what celebration item is your favorite. And I hope you will join me next Wednesday at 6 o'clock for my Facebook Live. So until we meet again, enjoy life. Stamp something and eat chocolate. Bye-bye now.